Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. You might notice, hopefully you noticed something a little bit different. I did get a new camera for filming, so bear with me if there's any issues in the next couple of videos while I kind of figure all of this stuff out with audio and how the video looks. Hopefully all goes well. But yeah, I'd appreciate your patience on that while I kind of figure out how this is going to go. But today I wanted to come to you with a quick little video on just a little update on how my spring propagations have gone. So I filmed a spring propagation video towards the end of April. If you saw that, I cut up my pretty big plants. That was my verrucosum, my tortum and my species fuzzy petiole, among some other things. So they have been rooting in water for all of this time. It is now the beginning of September, so it's been a couple of months in water. I don't know if you're like me, but when I root something in water, I leave it way too long every single time. I don't really know what it is, but it just takes me some time to get around to potting them up and dealing with them. So they always end up being in the water for just a little bit too long. Now, to be honest, this has gone pretty well. I haven't lost much. Most of them did root and are doing well and have new growth points. So I think it's a good stage when you have new growth points starting, that's a good indication that the plant is doing well and is probably ready to be put into whatever substrate is next, whether that be semi-hydro or soil or whatever. Quite a few of these have a couple of new leaves, so it's definitely overdue. But yeah, I thought I would let you know how they're all doing, and it was quite difficult to cut many of these plants, so I'm happy that it's gone pretty well. So I'll just take you around what's going on. So I've just had these in the kitchen in little glass jars like this. As you can see, tortum, species fuzzy petiole, etc., etc. A lot of these are super intertwined. So we have a squamiferum here, and that is how that is doing. We have some lovely juicy roots as well as a new growth point there. I do find squamiferum a little bit on the slower side to start pushing out new growth after propagation. Don't really know why that is. So Philodendron tortum has done really well for me, honestly. I think most of these have rooted up. As you can see, new growth point, lovely new roots as well. So to be honest with most of these, I think I'm going to pot them up with the mother plants to just have overall bushier plants. I don't know about you, but I am so far behind on repotting of houseplants that there's just too many of them, I think. And to constantly have a kind of bigger pot situation is just, I don't know. So a lot of my plants have been just dealing with being root bound and needing to be repotted, and I'm just leaving them like they're fine. But a lot of my plants would probably be doing much better if they were given more space in the pots, so I don't know. But the plan with these is to repot some things that need repotting and then put the cuttings in with the mother plant so that they are more bushy. Why was that so difficult for me? I don't know. So here's a couple more tortums. Oh, that's sad. Well, new leaf broken. That new leaf there has just broken off, which is sad, but it's okay. There's another one on the way. So that, we have this. Looking good. A lot of these are just the same, like I said. So pretty happy with them. So I do have a species fuzzy petiole here that isn't doing so well. Most of the cuttings from that are doing well, you'll see. But this is not. This had a little bit of rot. Sometimes they just go that way, you know. Sometimes, I don't know. Some cuttings do better than others for unknown reasons, even if they're in the same conditions a lot of the time. I do have a water propagation video, or how to propagate in water. on my channel. And that's actually a really old video. It was one of the first videos I had done, I think. So yeah, it's probably a bit cringe to look back on now, but to be honest, that's always done well for me. I think with different people, different methods do better than others. A lot of people have success with propagating in leca or perlite. That has never worked well for me. I don't really know why, but water has just always been the best for me. I've had the most success with that, so that's kind of what I'm sticking with. I think it's personal preference or to do with your conditions and also your lifestyle, what type of plant care you tend to, you know, what kind of plant care suits your personality as well. It just, these other methods don't suit me. So with these, all I've literally done is for the first maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I was checking for rot, and if I did see any rot, I would wash it off, cut it off, and make sure it didn't like spread to any other plants. And also every week I was replacing the water and making sure it was really kind of had a high pressure in it so that there was lots of oxygen all the time. You really want, when you're water propagating, you really want the oxygen to be replenished often so that it doesn't give better conditions for rot to kind of thrive and spread. So that's all I've done with these for all of that time. Right, so we have a little bit more of success stories with these. My verrucosum cuttings have done really well. Praised be. So this is what this looks like. We have a new leaf here. We have another new leaf on the way and some lovely pink roots. This was the original leaf. Also, the mother plant is doing quite well. If you did watch the other video, you might know that I cut that back to the soil, like hardcore 0 leaves. But it had a really good and healthy root system, so I think that that was totally fine, and it's actually done well. It has 4 new leaves, so it's well established, it's happy. And again, I think I'm going to pot these up in the same pot and give it a bigger pot, and just have more thicker and bushier verrucosums, which is still one of my favorites, all-time favorites. What else we got here? Another verrucosum doing very well. This one doing even better. We have 2 new leaves. Look at that lovely new leaf. Wow, beautiful. Really cute. Also loads of roots. Is that going to focus there? Yeah, loads of new roots. Really, really gorgeous. We have another squamifera. And okay, so species, whoop, there's another one in there. Monstera species Peru in there, which to be honest, as a plant doesn't root super well for me. The Monstera species Peru, I don't really know why. Just one of those things. So species fuzzy petiole. This is a lovely, lovely cutting. So we've loads of healthy roots here, all pink, which is really cool. Then we have this new growth point and little new leaf, so pretty. This is the original leaf. So that's doing really well, which I have to say I'm very happy about because the mother plant for that did not do as well. I also cut that back to the soil. It did have some pups beside it, which I just left. But although it's growing, for some reason the new growth keeps getting stuck in the caterpillar. And I don't really know why. I don't think it's a pest issue. I have treated it. I have tried to be consistent with my watering in case that's it. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm a little bit upset about it. So I'm happy that the cuttings are doing better. I don't know. Just one of those things. I'm trying to figure it out. If any of you have that issue with that plant, let me know how that's going for you, if you have any tips or some way that you stop that happening. So like I was saying, a Monstera species Peru that has not rooted, don't really know what's going on. Leaf is very dehydrated, not sure if that's going to last. This is a verrucosum that has 2 new leaves, but doesn't really have a lot of roots. Has a couple at the back there. But I don't know why that is. Some of them just do that, I guess. A nice chunky fuzzy species, fuzzy petiole, Philodendron, with loads of beautiful pink roots and a new growth point that seems to have been knocked off maybe by me, I'm not sure, but loads of big healthy roots. This had some good aerial roots, see these brown ones, and then they shut off these water roots after being in water. Have one with a really nice new leaf and some excellent roots, so this is doing super well. I say that, but the original leaf never unfurled and stayed white. But anyway, so this is the new leaf on this girl. Gorgeous, and loads of drippy roots. Very cute. See that original leaf? It never unfurled and it stayed white. I don't know why that is. Squamifera. Cute. Out of a lot of my philodendrons, I've never been happy with the growth of my squamifera, and since I've had it for a couple of years now, I always cut it because I think I'll just restart again. And it's just one of those plants that, I don't know, it just doesn't do that well for me. I've tried multiple things over the years, like watering more consistently and stuff, and that has definitely helped. But it's just one of those philodendrons that struggles to kind of attach on to any branches, and the leaves end up not getting super mature either, probably because of it not attaching. But I'm keeping with it. I think I'm going to try to not propagate it for a year and see how that goes. There's quite a few, because I've propagated it and put it back in the mother plant, there's quite a few different plants in there all trying to grow together, so we'll see. So as far as what else I have propagating that's outside of that original video, I don't know if other people are like this, but like this has just been going on far too long, far too long. Just full of roots there. It's mostly Epipremnum pinnatum skeleton key, this one here, and also this Syngonium wendlandii, which are doing pretty well. Definitely need to come out of here though, big time. And then over here I tried to propagate my variegated hibiscus. It hasn't gone very well. I have chopped that back quite a bit. This year I got a little bit brave with it after doing it on one of the stems, and it branched out, and I was really happy about that. So I have been cutting it periodically over the last couple of weeks, and it has bushed out. It's behind me here, but you can't really see it. However, I have tried to propagate a few pieces and it hasn't worked. I don't know if that's because it's just really woody or if, I don't know. So I've tried this in water. I have also tried just cutting back and putting it back into the pot, into the soil. I don't know, it just hasn't worked. I think because it's a woodier plant, I'll have to do maybe some other method, but I'm not sure. Again, if any of you have done it successfully, let me know what method you tried. I did, at the end of that video, try out a prop box, which are so popular and work really well for a lot of people, but I'd never tried it before. So I'm going to let you know how that's been getting on. So at the end of that video, I did have quite a few just node cuttings with no leaves, and they don't always do very well for me in water. So I thought, you know, I'll put some leca in a plastic box, which I actually got to do my moss video, which I know I said I would do that moss video at the beginning of the year, and I still haven't done it now. Because of moving and all of that, I just really ran out of time in the spring, and collecting moss in summer is really not the best time to do it. So now things are getting a little bit wet here again in Ireland. It's raining a lot, so I'm hoping that by next month it will be a good time when the moss has kind of replenished itself, and that we can go and collect some moss and hopefully grow it in this container. Most of the nodes I put in here did not do well. Okay, they just didn't do well. I did air it out, made sure there was some ventilation every now and again, kept the humidity high, try to like not put in so much water that it's like collecting on the bottom, but so that there's condensation on the box. I don't know. But some things have actually done well. It's just actually taken a really long time, even though people say that it's really fast way of doing it because the humidity is really high, but that hasn't really been the case for me. So a lot of things just got a bit fuzzy, took them out of there. Verrucosum didn't do well. Species fuzzy petiole didn't do well. The thing that has done the best in here is the Philodendron tortum. They're the only things that have good healthy roots and new leaves. So this is one of them. Oh my god, I love the new baby leaves on tortum. I think they look so cute. And there's that little root there. Like, I wouldn't say as healthy a root. It definitely is really hairy. The roots, can you even see in my hand, are really hairy. It's interesting. It's definitely different. So I have 1, 2, 3 of those, all of which have 2 leaves. And the only other thing that has done well, but is only very recently done well, is my Monstera species Peru nodes. Almost all of them have new growth points that are just beginning, but they only started rooting in the last like couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Which is interesting that they were in there that long. I was sure that they would just, we have the roots are attached to the leca still and that new growth point. So I just have a couple of those that are like that. I'm going to leave them in there. Hopefully they will grow enough for me to pot them up before I want to use this box for the moss. But yeah, so that's basically all I have. So overall, they're doing pretty well. I'm pleased with the majority of them. And so yeah, so it wasn't a total disaster cutting up some of my big plants. I know that even some of you in the comments were like, I can't believe that you did that. Even I couldn't believe that I was able to do it, but I did it. And luckily it has paid off, and they're doing pretty well. So I have some exciting videos coming up very soon, which I am excited about. My ecology work is slowing down a little bit, and it should be slowed down mostly by the end of September, so I can get back into putting more effort into the videos. I'm really grateful for anybody who's watching and supports me. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. And I do like a YouTuber thing. Boop, boop. No, I'll just turn it off.